Hey kids, welcome back to the program. This is Real Estate Chalk Talk, broadcasting from the Rack Shack Barbecue Studio. I'm Keith Hittner Sr. here in the studio with Kelvin Kaemingk, the money man from American Mortgage and Equity Consultants. I always want to say company at the end of that. Consultants.
I don't know why.
612-627-8000 is the number to call. Fritz Taylor's in the studio substituting for Keith Jr. and he's going to give us a little update later on about St. Anthony. We've been speaking with McDonald Construction here the last segment, and we got a couple more questions that we want to go if it's okay with you guys. Teresa and Lonnie from McDonald Construction. I just want to get into some of the, when people are talking about the custom home like this, you know how it is. You go into the national builders, they got it all laid out. You walk in there, it's, did you want red or blue? And that's kind of what it is. Package A, package B, it's all laid out.
Red or blue.
When you get into a custom home, the sky's the limit, and really the limit is the B word, the budget.
Exactly.
You know, what's the budget? How do you address that with people? Because a lot of people, we talk to people all day, and they say, "Oh, well, yeah, we want to pick up some land and maybe build a house on it." And, "Oh, really? What do you have to spend?" "Well, you know, maybe $350. You know, we'd like 10 acres." You know, you almost pass out because it just isn't possible. How do you deal with that with people? They come in and they've got a lot of ideas of what they want, and there's the budget word. So do you start from there, or how do you engage that conversation with people?
The first thing I do is bluntly I ask them their budget, because we're not doing them any favors or us any favors to lead them down this dream path and find out they're going to be 50,000 over. So I use an example of a couple of years ago where I designed a home for somebody, met their budget. They came in later and said, "Oh, well, we have 100,000 more."
Well,
they started adding 2 feet there, 4 feet here. Next thing you know, I would have designed the home differently.
Right.
And I felt like the home was compromised because of that. And so our goal is really to meet their budget or even come under it a little bit. And, we start with a level, a nice package level, meaning that, you have to start somewhere. This is what we do. We offer 5 1/4 trim standard, custom cabinets, granite countertops, what have you. You can go up, you can go down.
But this
it's your choice.
It's a standard feature, a starting point.
This is a starting point.
So, and it's all about allocation of resources, isn't it? I mean, if somebody comes in and they says, "Look, I got $575,000 to spend." Now we've got to sit down and decide how we're going to spend that money, and what's more important to the customer in terms of their lifestyle. Is it garage space? Is it exercise space? Is it kitchen space? I mean, all that matters a lot when you're talking about allocating that resource. Well,
and I always tell people the most cost-efficient home is a home designed for you. Because you're putting the money where you want to. You're not putting the money into spaces you're not going to use. I mean, there are those people that really want that formal space that they may not use it, but it's very important for them to come in and look at that every day. So, okay, we'll create that for you. But then there's those people that...
Do you find there's less and less of that?
Oh, yeah. And
which formal spaces are you talking about?
The dining or the formal living?
The formal living's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you will get a small space that they might want to put a piano in, or something like that, or a little reading space. The dining room is still kind of a 50-50 thing. The thing that's become more important is maybe more people are working at home, so maybe a 1 or even 2 spaces if both people are working at home.
Interesting.
What are some common trends that you've seen in terms of design elements that you can see a pattern where people are just asking for again and again and again in terms of overall look and feel, maybe ceiling heights, window arrays, that kind of a thing?
Well, the open floor plan, and you hear that over and over. You watch HGTV.
Right.
Everybody says that.
They all say that, but what does that mean?
It means having that kitchen, that dining space, that great room all together.
Okay.
So one big common area. The offices aren't quite as important. I'm kind of going back, unless you work at home, because of the wireless components and stuff like that.
Working prep pantries?
Yeah, working prep pantries, that's a big thing.
Interesting.
Because the kitchen has, become an entertainment space for the last 10 years. And so what we do is we create what we call a working prep pantry, and Lonnie brought up a good point. That's one of my favorite elements.
I love the idea of it. Almost going back to the old Butler pantry, but bigger.
Exactly.
So what is that? Help me
understand what that is. It's taking that pantry where you might have the shelving, but then we're adding maybe a base cabinet. It could be small, it could be bigger. Some people are going as far as putting a sink and a dishwasher in there. But a place where you can put that KitchenAid, where you can put that toaster, that coffee maker, so you don't have to keep those elements out on the counter, and keep that kitchen a little more clean. And a lot of times we'll throw a barn door on it so you can just quickly shut it and create that nice space. But it's a great space because...
Is that where when you say the pantry, then do you walk through that from the garage where you're coming in with your groceries and you could just have a drop space there and put them away right there, or is it a separate room off on the side?
We have had access, but more often it's just a kind of an open space right next to the kitchen. Something where you could almost, like I said, have these barn doors open and be going back and forth, but when people come, you just shut them.
What about, let's turn our attention to the kitchen for a second. Here we got 4 minutes left of the segment. Let's just talk about kitchens. And they seem to be getting bigger. One thing that I've noticed, and I noticed if I'm looking on your website, which has some pictures on here that I just love. People should go to McDonaldConstruction.com.
It is great.
Because there's some really nice pictures on here that I just want to have, brings a question up to it. These massive center islands. And they've gone from being oblong enough so you can put some buffet items on to big square seating areas, furniture wrapped. I mean, it's actually furniture. What about the countertops themselves now? Granite's still the standard. Do you see some unique tops, concrete tops, anything fun coming in, or what do you see being
First
asked
talk
for?
about the island, though.
The island itself, you're right. People is all about the island. That's the hangout space. That's where the kids do their homework. That's where, you sit down and have a glass of wine. Lonnie's seen a lot of this in remodeling. It's become very important. As far as the countertops, granite's still probably the one we use the most, because it is really, for a nice countertop, it's still pretty cost efficient. We will do some Cambria. Concrete, we have not seen a lot of that. You'll see a lot of that.
In the basement? Do you see more concrete countertop or not? We have neighbors that just put all concrete countertops in. Yeah.
You'll see some of it. It's still, it's a great element, but they're still going to the granite and the solid surfaces.
When you're, I want to talk just a little bit about the customization or the customs with the cabinets, box cabinet versus a custom cabinet. What do you use in that line? And I mean, there's some box cabinets that are pretty darn good cabinets.
Yes, there are very nice box cabinets. However, with being a custom builder, we often design, a house, and we utilize custom cabinets as well.
Okay.
It just really, you can sit down with our cabinet maker and design features in it that you're not going to get in the box cabinet.
And by box cabinet, we simply mean pre-manufactured in a factory and shipped in a box.
Right.
Yeah. And your custom cabinets are able to take care of, if you put unique corners in, or little situations or built-ins and whatnot that actually fit the space, as opposed to
Sometimes pull out.
they pull out in box too, but as opposed to trying to fit the building around the cabinet size.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things, sorry, Lonnie. One of the things I've always pointed out to customers is you go into some of these islands, getting back to the island, and we might have a unique angle. We're using every triangle with a custom cabinet, meaning if you're going to use a box cabinet, most likely that's going to be a dead space.
Right.
Box cabinets only come in certain dimensions. You're going to have to, to fill a space, you're going to have a filler board in the cabinet space. Where a custom cabinet, we're going to utilize that total space. And we found that custom cabinets are not a whole lot more expensive than box cabinets. And
What's your job there, Lonnie?
I'm the remodeling manager.
Okay, so you're the remodeling manager.
Yep.
Interesting.
And then what's your job?
I'm the designer.
You're the design person. So if someone wants to remodel, they should call you. What's the number that you want them to call into?
952-432-7601, our main office line, and
They'll get you to wherever
Yep.
you need to go. Or
Yep.
go to McDonaldConstruction.com. We hope to have you back on the program. It was interesting. I have 10,000 more questions to
Yeah.
ask, but we're out of time. That's it for this segment. We'll be back right after the break. 612-627-8000. This is the number to call. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. We can't help you if you don't call, so call today.